Hello dear Sag people, this is going to be your spring 2024 reading for all my lovely Sag sun, moon or rising. We're going to be looking at the period between the spring equinox, which happens either on the 20th of March or the 19th of March, depending on where you are in the planet, and ending with the summer solstice, which will take place either on the 19th or the 20th of June, again depending on where you are located on the planet. Let's see, for all my lovely Sag people, what's gonna be our energy for the spring. And I say our energy because I'm also part Sagittarius. I have the moon in Sag and I have a stellium there. So yeah, what's our energy, our collective energy for this lovely, lovely, lovely spring season? Well, right off the bat, we start out strong with Jupiter. We have here Vesta, we have here the waning gibbous moon and a trine. So overall, I would say the spring is a really favorable period for us Sagittarius people. Our ruling planet, after all, appears here, and this shows me that overall the spring is gonna be a good time for us to focus on our inner life, on our family life, on our roots, on our homes, our houses, everything that grounds us to a specific place in the world. It's a good time to invest in property, in real estate. It's a good time to start a family, to start a business. It's a good time to start new things because everything that happens here in our life this spring seems to be very auspicious. March is by far the luckiest time for us. So for the remainder of March, make sure, my dear Sag people, that you're gonna really take advantage of all the opportunities that are presented to you. There's a lot of potential for growth here for all my Saggy people. If you can travel abroad, for sure take this opportunity. It's gonna put you in some circumstances that you can't even imagine right now. Traveling overseas is a really good thing for all Sagittarius, especially in March. It's a good thing generally, but especially in March. And remember, in March, always stay optimistic, continue to be the same happy-go-lucky person, because this is your biggest positive attribute here. April is all about home, all about family. In April, a lot of Sag people will have to sacrifice something for the people they love, for just for keeping the peace in the family, for having harmony in your home and so forth. So that's why I say kind of fill your cup in March, because in April you will be the one that needs to fill up the cups of the people around you. This is basically the role that Sagittarius people will have to play in their families in April. April is gonna be testing. I know this is not something easy for us to do, because even though on the surface we're happy-go-lucky, we're optimistic, deep down we feel very intensely. After all, we are a fire sign and we are mutable fire, right? So our emotions go deep, for sure. They burn on a deep cellular level, even though we are really good at hiding it on the outside. May is a month of harvest. It's a month where all the sacrifice and devotion from April really is rewarded with a lot of gratitude from the people close to us. And also all the opportunities that we started working on here in March kind of start to give results. And you will see these results especially in June, because starting with June, things just seem to fall into place. Without you really putting in a lot of effort, things just happen in a mysterious, magical, miraculous way for Sagittarius people. And isn't this exactly what we want to hear? Now let's see Let's get some clarifications from this lovely tarot deck that I got the last time I was in Germany. So this is gonna be interesting because the names of the cards are in German, but if you just bear with me, I'm sure we're gonna be able to decipher them. So first of all, I want to see for all my lovely Saggy people, what are going to be some of our biggest challenges in this season. So this is the 8 of Coins, the 5 of Swords, the 2 of Coins, and last but not least, the 7 of Swords. So this spring, our challenges are gonna be of two types, either financial, like we see here in March and May, or there are gonna be some people challenging us, challenging our authority, challenging how smart we are, challenging our intelligence, challenging our credentials, just challenging us in various aspects of our life. But let's take it step by step. So first of all, in March, my dear Sag people, we're gonna have to work hard. The challenge here is going to be really to be meticulous, to pay attention to all the details, and to be perfectionist about the things that we're working on, about the projects that we're delivering, about basically everything that we are involved in, especially in a professional setting, but also in your personal life. Do not treat things, people, circumstances, projects superficially in March, because you will regret it. Another possible challenge here in March is for all the Sag people that have to take a course, learn something new, get a certification or get a certificate or graduate from a course. This is going to be a challenge. Prepare yourself for a situation in which you have to put in more effort than initially estimated. You will have to work more than you anticipated. You will have to do more than you initially thought, but you are able to get this credential, this certification, this certificate, this whatever it is that you're working to get here. In April, the biggest challenge is going to be from it's gonna come from people who think they are smarter than you, and you're gonna find yourself very often in April in situations where your authority is challenged, where your expertise is being put under scrutiny, and where doubts are being cast upon your character or upon your abilities. Now, the question here, my dear Sagittarius people, is how are you going to deal with this? And the recommendation from the 5 of Swords is to deal with it in a diplomatic way, because you don't want to make enemies if you don't have to necessarily make enemies out of these people. Be careful how you put people in their place, because if you wound their ego, there's no coming back from that. So just be careful about this, right? You are smart, you are talented, you have a sharp tongue and a fast mind. And really the risk here is that you're gonna make a lot of enemies because you just want to show off and to show people that you're right, because you want to put people in their place, because you let your ego drive you. And that's not the vibe for April. That's not the vibe in your profession. That's not the vibe in your friendship group. That's not the vibe in your relationship. That's not the vibe in your home with your family members. That's just not the vibe. May. May is a month of just juggling. May is a month full of indecision. So this is the biggest challenge for Sagittarius here in May. It's just dealing with all the balls that you have in the air and making sure that none of them drops. May is all about balancing all the aspects of your life. This is going to be the biggest challenge. How are you going to be able to balance your love life and your professional life, your family and your friends, your health and your job, and so on? Because a lot is required of you and requested of you in May and you're just struggling to keep everyone happy and you're struggling to continue delivering the same level of results as you have before. Now June. June is interesting because in June there are two possibilities here. Either someone wants to steal something from you. They might steal your phone, they might steal your personal information, they might steal your identity, they might steal your idea, they might steal your project, they might steal your thunder. Or you might be self-sabotaging here in June. So these are kind of the two possibilities for June. Either someone is trying to actively sabotage you, actively steal from you, or the more likely situation is that you are self-sabotaging here. When things finally fall into place, when things finally start going your way, when life finally becomes easy, you start self-sabotaging. So be very careful with that. But of course, there are also good things coming our way this spring, right? For sure. So let's see some of our blessings for the spring. And while I shuffle these cards, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Leave me a small comment in the comment section and don't forget to come back because in a few days I'm gonna start uploading the Mercury retrograde predictions for each individual zodiac sign. And this is something that you're really gonna want to see because Mercury is gonna be retrograde for most of April. And yeah, I already told you that April is a challenging month for you here. Okay, let's see our biggest blessings this month. Okay. Well, the season doesn't start out on the best note because we have here the 5 of Wands, then we have the 7 of Cups, but right around the middle of spring something changes because we have here Temperance card, which is the card that represents us in tarot, and then right after it we have the 2 of Cups. So what does this show me? Even though the spring, this season starts out rocky, by the middle of spring, somewhere between April and May, end of April, beginning of May, something shifts, something changes. We pay our dues in the first half of the season and then we reap the rewards in the second half. This is clear here, right? But just remember that even though something appears in a challenging way, those are actually blessings in disguise for us. So in March, a blessing in disguise is when people start fights with us, when people challenge us in March. This is actually a blessing in disguise. Why? Because if we are able to act from a place of integrity, because this is our place of integrity, Sag people, it's the Temperance card. It's being level-headed. Even though we are mutable fire, even though fire courses through our veins, being calm and collected, this is our place of integrity. So when people challenge you in March, when people try to start something with you in March, take it as the opportunity that it is for you to be the bigger person, for you to act from a place of integrity and to show your true character. Don't stoop down to their level. That's the worst mistake that you can make. Now, April is a very confusing month because April, as I told you in the beginning, is a month when we need to sacrifice pieces of ourselves for the good of society, for the collective good, for the higher good, right? And this is confusing as fuck for us. I know. I know it's confusing. Your emotions are confused, are perturbed. You don't know how to feel about things. You keep sacrificing and sacrificing and sacrificing and nothing seems enough. And you have a lot of options and you have a lot of choices, but you just don't know what to choose. You just don't know what to do. There are so many people wanting to date you, but you don't know which person to pick. There are so many job opportunities, there are so many offers for you, and you don't know which one to choose. And you know, this indecisiveness, this is your blessing for April, because April is not the time to make any big life-altering decisions. Just don't do it. Don't. With Mercury retrograde in Aries, don't do it. Wait until May. May and June are the months to shift the chess pieces on your board. May and June are really the months for us to do big life changes, to change our job, to start a new relationship, to get married, to start a family, to whatever it is that you want to do. May and June. This is the time to act. March and April, it's just preparing, just going through hell in order to come up on the other side in May and June, stronger, wiser, better equipped to receive all the blessings that are coming our way here. In June, you might find your soulmate. In June, you might become engaged, you might get married, you might start a family. Something big happens here in May and June that really brings us on a much better path for our future development. But you have to trust. You have to trust yourself. You have to trust your intuition. You have to trust divinity after all. And if you don't trust me, trust your guardian angels. And right now, just before we wrap up your reading, I'm gonna ask your guardian angels to give you one last piece of advice, one last card for all my lovely Sagittarius people. Perfect timing. Remember that things happen in God's timing, not in your timing. You are not the project manager of your life. You are not the one that decides when good things are coming to you, when challenges are coming to you. You are not the one that decides when the right time is for certain things to happen. God has a much bigger plan here for you, Sag, and you need to trust it. And if something doesn't work out, just move on, because there's something much, much better down the road. Everything happens in divine timing, and isn't this just the perfect message to wrap up your reading with? Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope to see you in the next videos as well, and I'm really looking forward to reading all your messages. Bye bye.